tonight takes us to an area of Scotland which has become known as the Falkirk Triangle. West Lothian, a small industrial region in central Scotland. The locals are a down-to-earth breed, not the sort you'd expect to spin tall tales and leave themselves open to ridicule. But their community has been gripped by a most unearthly phenomenon.
Hurry up, look, it's a UFO.
I'm trying to get it focused. There, wait, now.
As I started underneath the craft, it dropped like a shimmering curtain of light.
I want the Ministry of Defence to send somebody in here now and give the people an answer.
Councillor Billy Buchanan is a popular local figure who's championed many causes, gaining a reputation as a man of the people. But even he was stunned when locals came to him with stories of strange objects in the skies.
Yes. Well, I started in 1992. I received a knock at the door one evening, and there was a friend of mine who I've known for a number of years. He told me that he had an encounter on the back roads of Bonnybridge. He couldn't describe the format of it because the light was too intense, but it was hovering above the road, it was soundless, and he watched it for 10 minutes and it moved off at incredible speed. I put a small news item in the local newspaper, and that's when it began.
This thing just appeared out in like a farmer's field, and it was jumbo jet size.
Really luminous, bright, you know, object. Just sitting there. I mean, I was terrified.
Red, like right at the top, clear lights in the middle, and blue lights at the bottom, and they were all spinning.
It just looked like an oval red light. It was just sitting there. From there, the whole thing just snowballed. We had hundreds of people coming to the office or phoning us up to say we've seen things as well, and it became a sort of national story.
In the first week, I think I had about 400 to 450 either telephoning or coming to my door telling me that they had seen something.
One of the local residents keeping watch and logging claims of sightings was UFO researcher Malcolm Robinson.
Our society checked through various avenues open to us to provide a rational explanation to account for these UFO sightings. We checked firstly with the police. We also checked through various airports. Then we also checked with the meteorological stations to see if there were release of any weather balloons that may have overflown the area. And lastly, we checked through the Ministry of Defence to see if there were any aircraft manoeuvres. Once we have checked through all avenues open to us and we cannot find a rational explanation to account for a given sighting, then obviously that particular sighting must be classed as an unidentified flying object.
The intensity of sightings is unbelievable. People call this the sort of Falkirk Triangle.
On July the 30th, 1994, Andy Swan, a 27-year-old cable layer with Scottish Power, had what he says was a close encounter.
I went up to the park to have a look at a lightning storm that we were having that night. I had noticed this object heading toward the school building. I was intending to come along and have a better look at this object from behind. As I was travelling along the road, I seen this object coming from the left-hand side. It came down so low, right in front of the car, so close that I thought I was going to hit it. And I had to put my brakes on hard to avoid it. And I got out of the car, and I watched this thing just coming over the top of me, where it just landed just above the field. This thing just, suddenly, it just, like a bug, it just shot up, right across the top of me.
Author Stuart Campbell believes such sightings are merely tricks of the light.
The atmosphere is capable of producing suffusing mystical effects of varying types, and almost anything can be believed of the shape of such objects, starting with an astronomical object, a planet or a bright star. Very many of the distortions that cause people to see a UFO out of an astronomical object is the temperature inversion.
From Scotland.
We headed out about 10 o'clock, just chatting away about general things.
What you said your radio was it, man? Tune it in, will you?
We went round this bend and the road heading towards Starbright. Something caught my eye just above the line of the top of the windscreen.
What the hell's that? Nothing there.
I never ever seen anything like it in my life. It was black in colour. It was like shiny. It had 3 parts to it. It was circular. I really panicked. I just I didn't know what to do.
Gary, for God's sake, drive! Drive through
As I
it!
started going underneath the craft, it dropped like a shimmering curtain of light. I like braced myself.
As I went underneath it, the whole road and surrounding area just completely disappeared.
I'm like it's some unavoided blackness. I didn't know where I am.
I had the sensation that the car was lifting. Because I know for a fact the wheels weren't turning. I mean, there's no traction. All of a sudden, there's just a big burst of bright light. The car sort of kind of like slammed onto the road.
Gary, for God's sake, drive! Go, go!
And I ran to Katrina's house and I was banging like mad on the door.
Gary was hysterical. He knows I've got 4 kids. There is no way that he is going to come to my door, pound on it, push me right out the road and enter the way he did. Something dramatically happened to him. He was blown.
They say the journey should only have taken 30 minutes, but took 2 hours. So how could they account for the lost time?
I'm an hour and a half missing out my life, and I don't know how or why.
Gary and Colin turned to regression therapist Helen Walters, hoping she might hold the key to explaining what happened on the road to Tarbrax.
Hypnotic regression helps you recall the incident that you take them back to or around that time. And it brings to light what their problem is, to be able to handle it in their daily life and remove some of the fear.
Dark.
I just saw this thing coming towards me, these things.
Gary?
And I was just terrified.
What can you see?
Met him.
And all as I remember is just pure fear, absolute terror.
Can you see something, Colin?
It's near my face.
I mean, the next thing I can remember was like
Don't want it near.
some kind of instrument coming down from my right-hand side.
Away!
With a long, long, thin needle straight into the centre of my eye.
Away!
Even under hypnosis, you could see my eye was pouring with water.
Could this be a genuine memory? And could the claimed abduction account for the missing 2 hours?
Hypnosis has been used many times to discover what people went through in some UFO experience.